If you're getting 100 impressions and 2 likes on LinkedIn content that took you 1, 2, maybe even 3 hours to make, while other creators seem to get a ton of engagement and growth every time they post, you're not alone. In this video, I'm going to explain exactly why that's happening. You see, I help some of the biggest creators on the platform and manage their entire content strategy. So when there's a shift in the algorithm, I'm the first to notice it. And recently, there's been a fundamental shift in how the LinkedIn algorithm actually works. So let's start there. Content gurus and personal brand coaches love to give outdated advice, the most popular of which is just post valuable content and everything will work out. There's some truth to it, but what looks like valuable content in the past is no longer actually valuable and picked up in the algorithm today. Because what you don't realize is the bar for what qualifies as valuable content has gone up exponentially since LinkedIn has become a platform that people post content on. Just 2 years ago, LinkedIn was a pretty fringe platform to post on, a relatively blue ocean compared to other more competitive platforms like Instagram, TikTok, even Twitter. There were a handful of founders who were using the platform to their advantage, but it was still very much early. Now, that's not the case. LinkedIn has become the default option for many B2B startup founders. It's gone from a fringe marketing channel to something that they have to have. So as a result, these founders will start a company, raise some funding, and then immediately hire someone to start posting on LinkedIn for them. You combine that trend with the rise of AI content tools like ChatGPT, Claude, and some of the more specific ones, and the timeline is just being flooded with content. And a lot of it, even the AI generated stuff, isn't that bad. So, like I said, the content bar for quality has gone up. And if you haven't adjusted, you're going to get left behind. In the age of AI, this value-based content has become a commodity. Anyone with a Claude subscription can type in, write me a LinkedIn post about XYZ category, and it will produce a pretty good one based on fundamentals of what worked on the platform. These AI tools are even getting to a place where you can train the AI on a specific tone of voice based on founders you want to emulate or even on your own content. So when it's so easy to create a post from scratch, how do you stand out? How do you possibly win in today's environment, especially if you're starting as a smaller account? The good news is there's still a path forward. There's still a way to grow effectively on LinkedIn, and that is to produce content that AI can't copy. There are two moats that AI has not been able to touch yet. One is your personality, so your unique writing style. There are some elements that AI can emulate, but if your writing style is unique enough, you're still safe. And number two is going to be your personal stories. Like I said, this generic how-to based content is no longer unique, but AI can't come up with unique stories from scratch. Or maybe it can, but that's just straight up lying and you shouldn't do that on the timeline. So long as you have unique personal stories that you can tie into your content, you will always be safe from AI. And your content will be able to rise above the noise and clear that quality bar that makes people actually want to pay attention. The key shift in the LinkedIn algorithm is going from how-to to how-I. Content that wins on the timeline is tied into personal stories and personality. The true winners on LinkedIn were always doing this, but it's become more of a necessity now with the crowded timeline. But how do you actually implement this? How do you take this theory and turn it into posts that you publish consistently? I've got 3 simple pillars for you to follow coming out of this video. First, you're going to pair every take with a story. Anytime you give advice or share a hot take, you want to pair it with a personal anecdote or story from your experience as a founder or from your experience earlier in your career. So for example, if you're a founder selling an enterprise sales tool, instead of just doing a post on how to win your first enterprise deal, tell the story of how you won your first enterprise deal in your AE role a few years back. Don't just do a generic tech stack post where you list a bunch of tools and hope for the best. Tell the story of how these tools helped your company scale from $0 to $1 million in ARR, or whatever that story is for you. Don't just shill your product, tell the origin story of what made you start the company in the first place. What problem was so painful for you that you decided to leave your comfortable job and take the risk to start a company? That's so much more compelling. The second pillar is to nail your hooks. Specifically, use 2 to 4 hook levers in each hook. Narrative hooks, listicles, savable frameworks, and checklists. The list goes on. But what you want to do is make it very intentional to use at least 2 of those and up to 4 in every hook you produce. So here's an example. So this post from Adam Robinson, one of the best founders on LinkedIn, actually quite a funny one, but just look at the hook. It's super short and concise, but we nail 2 specific hook levers. Number 1, negativity bias. 33 things people hate about me. That word hate, obviously, very negative. And then you have a listicle, so 33 items. And here's another example from Adam. I've bootstrapped 3 SaaS companies to $35 million combined ARR. I just spent 30 days reverse engineering my entire startup playbook for founders and uploaded the full 90-minute course to YouTube for free. Look at all the levers he uses. You have specific numbers with $35 million in ARRs. People love monetary figures as well. You have a narrative hook. This is telling how he's done this. It's not just saying, here's how to scale a SaaS startup to $30 million. It's how I have scaled a SaaS startup to $30 million. You have a savable framework or playbook. He uses the term playbook in that hook. You see what he's doing. And you want to do this with every single hook that you publish. There's so much great content that's buried beneath a bad hook. Do this and pair every take with a story. You'll be in a great spot. Now, pillar number 3, turn up the intensity by 20%. One of the biggest mistakes that I see founders make that makes them blend in with AI generated content, they don't have a personality on LinkedIn. It's very sterile corporate content. And when you talk to these founders in person, they're very vibrant and energetic, and they have certain hot takes and polarizing opinions, but none of this makes it through to their LinkedIn content because they're scared. They're scared of what people are going to think. What we don't realize is that this intensity, this ability to be a little bit polarizing, is what keeps you safe from falling into the noise of AI content and what helps you stand out in this new LinkedIn algorithm. So next time you write your content, I'd imagine the first draft is going to be a little bit safer because you're getting started posting on LinkedIn. You're not sure kind of what that line is. What I'd recommend for you is turn up the intensity by 20% or so. You don't have to be an extremist. You really should not be. I'm not saying that. But take your very safe take and just say what you actually mean. Now, the algorithm has changed, but that's not the only thing I'm saying. LinkedIn as a whole is about to change forever. And if you want to stay ahead of everyone else, you need to know what to do. So click here to check out the next video. Find out what exactly is changing and exactly what you need to do to come out on top.